What's going on, everybody? Dash Michaels here, and welcome to another episode of Shorts and Hoodies. This is the SNH podcast, episode 4. Derick, Mike, we're talking Tim Tebow, Colin Kaepernick. We're talking football movies. Let's get it. Episode 4, go. What's going on, everybody? Dash Michaels here. Welcome to another episode of Shorts and Hoodies. This is the SNH podcast. This is episode 4. This is the NFL episode. We are back for the first time now in about a month and a half. We've been on hiatus while I've been working my dance competitions and everything. Today, we are joined by Derick and Mike. How are you doing, guys?
Good. Thank you.
Upright and breathing.
Awesome. So today's conversation all spans around the news that came out the other night on Twitter. It broke. Tim Tebow has signed a 1-year contract with the Jacksonville Jaguars after not being in the NFL since 2012. First off, Derick, Mike, thanks for being on the show today. Derick, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, please?
Hey, yeah, thank you. My name's Derick McDuff. I'm a writer and podcaster. I do, a couple of shows on film. The main one I do is called Underrated. We talk about underrated movies, but I'm also a really big football fan. So, of course, I had to jump on the opportunity to be here and talk about football and some football and film stuff. But yeah, that's me.
Awesome. Mike, what about you?
I, too, have a podcast. It's called Adding Context. It's just kind of like casual conversation, educational. Guests span all kinds of backgrounds. Like myself, I have a very eclectic background and retired police officer. I'm an EMT. I do just about everything. So
awesome. So where are you from, Mike?
I'm from New Jersey.
From New Jersey. And Derick, you are in?
I'm a Southern California kid.
Southern California. So we can literally have like different parts. You got California, you got Jersey, and I'm down here in North Carolina. So very cool. Okay, so it broke the other night. Tim Tebow has signed a 1-year contract with the Jacksonville Jaguars. So first time back in the NFL since 2012. He's going to be playing a different position. He was playing quarterback. He played quarterback for 3 years. Didn't quite get on after that, and then went on to broadcasting and a short career playing baseball, which he did, if I'm not mistaken, in high school. So it was kind of, bringing it back to that. So what are our thoughts about this?
It's a joke.
You think it's a joke?
It's just, I was trying to watch a number of different talking heads to get different perspectives on things. And
right,
it's really baffling, but to bring a guy hasn't played in 9 years, he's 34. I mean, he's definitely at the higher end of NFL playing age.
Right.
And he's not even coming back for the position that he really played. I mean, he's got the size, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
He may have the hands, but I'm sure he's lost a step in the last 8 years.
Okay. Derick, what do you think?
Well, I've been thinking about it a lot. It's really interesting because I was like a big Tebow fan back in the day, and I know that they originally, people did want him to be a tight end, but he was adamant, like, I'm only ever going to be a quarterback. That's kind of when he had that brief stint with the Patriots in preseason. I think they kind of had some stuff in mind for him, kind of doing like, I don't know, I guess the Terrell Pryor type thing where, he is kind of like somebody you could throw out there for some wildcat stuff or have him be a tight end, but you could mix it up, do something weird. Right. But, he never wanted to do that. So instead he went to baseball, did that for a few years, made it to AAA. But now I guess he's back doing football, and I think it's weird that I guess it's just because he was so adamant about not wanting to be a tight end when they wanted him to originally. Now to kind of bring him back with that, it's interesting. It seems just kind of like, hey, this is just an experiment. We'll see if it works out. It's a 1-year deal. His coach, from high school, or Myers, or not high school, from college, is right. Kind of the one behind it. So I think that's kind of the reasoning. So I mean, I don't know if it's going to be a successful experiment, but it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. For sure. I think it might be more of a distraction than anything, because that's kind of what led to the problems with the Jets and everything in the past, especially with them, having, the number one pick, and having him at quarterback. So it'll, people hopefully like they don't start chanting put Tebow in.
Right. Yeah.
But because it'll be. I'm just really like I like kind of just like weird, interesting shit and trying new things out. Like you guys did say though, he is 34, which is pretty ancient. In terms of the NFL, you had Andrew Luck retire at 29 not too long ago. So it's just such a question mark. It's hard to even say anything because we don't know what Tim Tebow is like as a tight end and how this is going to work.
Right. Well, you touched on a couple of things that I was going to dive into. One, he's teaming back up with his old Florida coach, Urban Meyer. So I think that's interesting, and but I think everything kind of comes from Urban trying to put maybe glory days back together, bringing him in. I think my concern is like you said, is it going to overshadow, and that would be an awkward predicament. I think if you're not winning, are the chants going to start happening? Are you going to ask to bring Tim Tebow back into that quarterback position?
Well, they just draft a quarterback this year, number one
Trevor
draft
Lawrence.
pick.
Trevor Lawrence, yeah.
You've got arguably probably one of the most premier in the last few drafts, premier quarterbacks who's definitely NFL ready, or at least seems to have everything together.
Oh yeah.
You're kind of taking the light off of him right now. You want things to gel behind him. He's supposed to be the franchise quarterback for the next 10, 15 years or so. And you're bringing back somebody that might kind of make it more of a circus sideshow as opposed to the spotlight that should be shining on him.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's another thing that I'm a little concerned about. If it's going to be that sideshow, is it going to be, look at when Michael Jordan retired the first time and went and played baseball, that circus that followed around Birmingham, and how that was. Is it gonna end up the same way? And it probably will. It's gonna be really difficult. I think I can look at it from say a Trevor Lawrence standpoint. When you win a game and you go to do that interview and they ask you nothing but Tim Tebow questions in your rookie season, like how is that going to make you feel? Like that's going to suck. So
yeah, I mean, I wonder if it's more of they're just trying to. I feel like Tim Tebow might be the number one jersey seller on the Jags this year, just because he is that South Florida kid, and like he's just kind of the homegrown guy, and that seemed to be, it just kind of seems to be a publicity stunt, maybe more than anything, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I was kind of shocked when it happened, because I mean, it kind of came out of nowhere. There was really no talk of Tim Tebow back into football. Yeah, he had retired, and it looked like he had come to grips with that. Playing the baseball, doing that thing. But more than that, with his foundation and him going around and doing talks and just the whole faith thing. He's always kind of been engulfed in that. But it looked like that's how his career was going to be going. And he just happened to be a guy who played, arguably one of the best college careers, but, only 3 seasons in the NFL. This kind of came out of nowhere. I'm sure the people who are watching that, it was to be seen. But I think the biggest thing that came out of it and overshadowed it a little bit is the talks of, well, you have somebody like Tim Tebow who hasn't played since 2012. What about Colin Kaepernick?
Speaking as a Niners fan,
yep,
I think the Niners broke Kaepernick. I think they rushed him back from his injury, and he's not been the same quarterback since. Okay. So the Tebow thing, I was never a Tebow fan to begin with. I never thought he was a spectacular quarterback, and I think it proved that he was not an NFL quarterback because he only lasted for a few years.
Right.
And he bounced around so quick. So there was something that he didn't possess that you see these long tenured quarterbacks have, and he just didn't have it. But for the Kaepernick thing, I think people are kind of conflating a couple things. his the message that he's trying to work on and the narrative that he's pushing, I think people are kind of twisting that a little bit, that's why he doesn't have a job. But I think anybody that looks at him from an objective, strictly football perspective sees that he doesn't have the skill set or that step that he had when he was playing for the Niners.
Okay. Derick, what do you think?
I mean, I might have to disagree a little bit about him not having the skill set. I don't know if he's definitely not what he was, especially not after all these years have passed. But I do think that he's definitely better than a lot of guys who are still getting chances in the NFL, especially like better than a lot of backups and stuff. But, he does come with that, quote unquote baggage that a team just like the NFL, like he's been blackballed by the NFL because they don't want to deal with that. And I think the same thing did kind of happen to Tim Tebow where they were like, we'll rather cut him because he is such a big thing. Well, I think, Tebow was probably better than a lot of people who were playing in, 2013. They were like, we don't even want to deal with this headache. And, the NFL kind of had the same, I think, attitudes about Colin Kaepernick, but for very, very different reasons. And I think that, Kaepernick did not really deserve to get treated that way. That being said, though, I don't think that is a fair comparison with Tebow and Kaepernick with what's happening right now, because Tebow isn't playing quarterback. Like if you brought Tebow to play quarterback, absolutely. Like, yeah, say like what is going on? This guy hasn't played in so many years and stuff. But if Kaepernick's not coming back and like Kaepernick's not, it's like he's trying to play TE and he can't do it. He wants to play quarterback, and which is what Tebow tried to do for 9 years. And finally, after 9 years being told no and playing baseball, he's like, all right, I'll play tight end. It's a different situation. I can see why people are like getting upset and being like, hey, why is this guy back in here?
Getting another chance kind of thing.
Getting another chance when, Kaepernick is not getting another chance. But it is kind of a different situation. It's not a one-to-one comparison. But I can see where people are coming from.
Right. And I think because it's not a one-to-one comparison, when you go into that Twitter sphere, that's how it is, though.
Right.
It's this. I mean, if we're going to make it kind of not gray, it is a white guy who has not played in X amount of years. There's a black guy that has not played in less time than that and can't get a chance either.
Right.
And I think when it comes down to, a lot of people aren't thinking of it. I don't want to say that they're not thinking about it just from a football perspective, because honestly, it's not.
No.
When it's been, I don't want to say overshadowed, but because both of their careers have had overshadowing things. Funny enough, both of them have knelt on the football field.
Yeah.
But for very different reasons. And I think going back to that circus aspect of Tebow, now going to be with the Jaguars, I think no matter what, I think with Tebow's career kneeling in prayer, or Kaepernick's kneeling in solidarity, is both bring a circus type effect to it. And unfortunately, with that Twitter sphere, that there's only one reason. I don't want to see anything else. There's only one reason why. And it could be a race thing. It could be an age thing. It could be being blackballed by the NFL. But they'll only look at one thing.
Right.
As the reason why Tim Tebow is getting his fair shot and Kaepernick is not getting a fair shot.
Right.
Me particularly, I will say I was a Kaepernick fan. I did grow up. I am a Browns fan. I became a Browns fan when I moved to Cleveland, and now I'm back in North Carolina. But I'm a huge Baker Mayfield fan. My cat's name is Baker. Like I love everything that's happening with the Browns organization. I was the same way growing up. I was a huge Montana fan, but I think anybody my age or my generation was a Montana fan.
Right.
And so there's always been that kind of part of me that's liked San Francisco, because I grew up with that organization. Having said that, I think Kaepernick is a great player. I agree with you, Derick, that I think he is better than a lot of players that are out there right now. He doesn't want to be a second stringer, though.
I think that's part of the problem why he's not getting a job, because he's not willing to take that second string spot and offer some guidance to a newer quarterback like that. He wants that first spot. He wants to be that person. And I get that that's the competitive nature for him.
Right.
But he doesn't have the skill set anymore to be that top quarterback. He can jump in on downs. I don't think he would be very bad at all. I mean, like I said, he's shown that he can play, but I don't think that, I think part of the reason why he's not getting the chances like Tebow is because he's not willing to concede anything. Tebow is willing to concede that quarterback's role, and he's trying out, which he might not even make the roster.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. We should mention that. There's
no guarantee.
Rosters before, not made it.
Right. There's no guarantee to that. And I think that, as you pointed out with the Twitter sphere, it's a matter of, it's black and white. And I'm a firm believer that there are very few things in this world that are truly black and white. I think the vast majority of the world we live in is some varied shade of gray. So, again, I don't think that Kaepernick is a bad quarterback. I just don't think he's a starting quarterback. And that's the point he needs to kind of concede. If he really wants to come back and play the game for the NFL, he needs to not try to be requesting the millions of dollars that a top string quarterback's going to get, and willing to kind of take a secondary role and prove himself. If he still thinks that he's got it and has it, he's going to get a chance to show it if he's willing to kind of scale things back a little bit to get his foot in the door again.
Yeah. Derick, anything to add?
I mean, that makes it. I don't know too much about, if he, I don't know, because I know that like they kind of jerked him around with the tryouts and stuff like that and moved stuff around, and only a couple teams showed up to his actual tryouts. So I don't know, if he, was did have that hardline stance about not wanting to be a backup. So, so I really don't know, I guess, either way in terms of that.
I think with that situation, which was just weird, I think, in the beginning, and then afterwards it was kind of like, oh, okay, I see what you're doing. And I think he was afraid of how the NFL, because they were in an NFL stadium, they were using NFL cameras. So essentially and it wasn't going to be live. This was something they were doing for a documentary that it was going to come out. So the NFL, I think the way Kaepernick thought was, well, the NFL could edit it any way they wanted to fit whatever narrative.
Right.
With him changing the location at the last minute, I think also kind of did him into to where it was like, hey, we're going down here to this high school or to this junior college or whatever it was. You want to see me play? Come down here. I disagree with them changing the location because he did have some scouts there. But at the same time, I get how the media can change whatever narrative and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, not that many other people moved with that location because it was so far away. But I did like the fact that he went live and then he was showing he's still got an arm. But I think the question lies then, like we've been talking about, is that arm better than 29 other or 30 NFL players that are first rounders?
But an arm doesn't make a quarterback.
No, it doesn't. No,
he doesn't. I think he's lost a step. Like I said, I think that injury that they rushed him back from, whether it was intentionally or willingly done, I think that they rushed him back because he was afraid he was going to lose that starting spot.
Yeah,
he's such a competitive player. He wants that premier attention that he was getting, and he deserved it, because I mean the things that he did for the Niners in those few years, were amazing. But I think that rush from he wasn't fully healed, and it messed up his mindset, and I don't think his leg is ever the same.
Yeah. All right, it's gonna be interesting to see what's gonna end up coming about here. In the beginning of the season, is Tebow going to get a spot? Is this going to force the hand, which I doubt it will, but will it force the hand of some of these teams to take a second, third, or even fourth look at Kaepernick and to go, hey, maybe, with Tebow coming in, maybe they're right. Maybe he does deserve a spot. Maybe he doesn't. maybe we're good with who we have. I don't know. I was one of those people. I'm not a Panthers fan, but being from North Carolina, we have the Panthers here, and there was that chance of Kaepernick going to Carolina. I thought that was going to be awesome. With Cam going to New England, and I was like, this will be perfect. Bring Kaepernick in, and granted, it'll be a circus, but it would be something. Carolina needed something. There'll be some notoriety.
There are some teams I think that could they could benefit from that circus.
Yeah,
benefit from the attention.
Yeah,
and I at this point, I don't think that you're going to see Tebow suiting up at all this season. I don't think he makes the cut. I don't think has the capability at this time to compete with kids that are literally kids, 22, 23 years old. And I think you're right. I think it might give, at least the conversation might give Kaepernick a chance if he's willing to take a second string. I can't think of any teams right now off the top of my head that might need that bad of a quarterback that's going to take somebody that's lost their step. So if he's willing to kind of take a step back and help mold a future quarterback and take a few snaps here and there, or if something happens, jump into the starting spot because of an injury, then there's got to be some give on both sides, I think.
I don't know. Look, I'm a big Browns fan. If and I know Baker's not the second coming of Brady, but if anything can be said about being a second stringer, you never know what's going to happen to your first stringer.
Yeah, I mean, that's how
went down.
Yeah,
and
that's how Kaepernick got his start. Yeah, because Alex Smith went down, and so
I don't know. I'm not saying get in that second spot and do something to that other quarterback so you get that starting spot. But
Kerrigan Harding.
All right, so on Shorts and Hoodies here, what we like to do is kind of we're talking about these current events, we're talking about these topics here, and we're kind of moving into ultimately this podcast is how movies have shaped us pretty much. And since we are talking about on the topic of football and football players, what better way to have an NFL draft here with our very own movie and TV characters. So the way that we're going to do it is, I don't know, who wants to go first? Anybody?
Do you want to do the coach first, or do you want to do the players first?
Let's go coach first. Let's go coach first. No, you know what? Let's do coach last, because I mean, you can have a really good player, but you had a shitty coach, then your team may not be that well. And I think that coach is the cherry on top. So we'll save the coach for last. We'll run it as a snake draft. Yeah, we're good with that.
Yeah.
Works.
Sounds good to me.
Right,
that's the way to do it.
Let's just the way my screen is set up, we'll go Derick, Mike, and then myself.
All right.
So Derick, go ahead and lead us off here. Who we taking in the first round?
All right. Well, number one pick, and it might be weird, but I'm going with a defensive player for my number one pick, and that's Mr. Bobby Boucher.
Okay.
And I think because Bobby Boucher, there's definitely, it might be, people would think go with a quarterback or something, but I think that he's good for a lot of reasons.
My first pick is not a quarterback either, so.
Okay. All right. But, he did manage to just kind of step in and take a team that was atrocious, just like horrible, like pits of the world, and get them to a bowl game and go up against like, a top tier team and win. And they just like, he completely, both through his play and through his locker room presence, changed that team, because Bobby Boucher is kind of the player that he does have the kind of intangibles of somebody like a Rudy, or just, a player that is just kind of like, great in the locker room. And he completely changed the culture of that, made them into winners. He just had such a positive presence that everybody around him just wanted to play that much better. And he's also incredible. He's just getting sacks out there like nothing. And he was even a quarterback for a second, so you could even slot him in and do something like weird like that.
There you go.
But yeah, I mean, I'm also a little biased because just The Waterboy is just a hilarious movie.
Yeah.
And I just really like that movie. It's a stupid fun movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I got to go with Bobby Boucher. He will take any defense and immediately make them a contender and make the team in general contender, and also just kind of be there on the sidelines and just kind of inspire his team.
Cool. Mike, who we got? First pick.
My first pick is going to be a running back.
Okay.
And it is the you got to go Al Bundy as your running back.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, look at all the accolades.
Yeah.
Enough said. Just Al Bundy. That's my pick.
I'm gonna be pissed. You know, see me over here just drawing lines.
He's injury prone though. He's injury prone.
Yeah. But when he's not injured, he'll throw a shoe. I mean,
yeah. All right, my first pick. So one of my absolute favorite movies. It's not a great movie, but to me, I have to watch it every year during the NFL draft. I am a Browns fan. I am going with Vontae Mack, no matter what. Chadwick Boseman, rest in peace. That is my first pick, Vontae Mack. Just an incredible character with so much heart. Just played by an incredible actor. One of my favorite roles, next to Jackie Robinson. Just awesome.
That's draft day, right? I just got
draft day, yeah,
like half of it once.
Yeah.
Really, just half of it. It's such a great movie. To me, it is, but I don't know. There's a lot of history in the movie, and just the first half of the movie. I'll even give you the first 3/4 of the movie. Just kind of drags, but it all pays off in that, what Kevin Costner does in the draft is just awesome. And then you see the history between the dad and the son and the players and stuff. It's just a great movie. And so then I get my second pick here, since we're snaking this. I'm gonna go with a quarterback here, only because I think my quarterback's got to have heart, and I've got 5 quarterbacks on my list here that I can pull from, and I think I mentioned him earlier. The quarterback with the most heart has got to be Footsteps Shane Falco from The Replacements. Just a great character. Great story. The comeback, played for Ohio State, scraping shit off the bottom of boats. So that is my second pick, Sugar Shane Falco. On to Mike.
I'm gonna kind of follow that lead and take a quarterback as well.
Okay.
I'm going with the original Paul Crewe from The Longest Yard.
Damn it.
And I go with him
too.
He had grit, he had determination. He really did. He was that quintessential quarterback that you want to really take control, not only of the offense, but of the team, and be that leader.
Yeah.
And a little side note to Chadwick, I met him on set of a movie that I did, background, and he's just a phenomenal person to
That's
talk
awesome.
to.
It's
That's
great
like
when
5 minutes.
It's great when you see actors on screen and you're like, I bet that dude's cool. Like, I bet he's awesome just to hang out with, or I bet he's a really good guy. And it's reassuring, and it kind of lifts you up when you find out it's true.
Yeah.
That they're not just a dick,
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. So this is one of those characters that was played by 2 different people.
Yeah.
Why Burt Reynolds over Adam Sandler? Is there a reason?
Well, one, I'm a little partial to the original. I like the original movies, especially in this day and age where like everything is just a remake of something or a retelling of something.
Right.
I like the original better. There was a better, same story, but it was just better told through the lens that they used. The acting was better, and again, not that Adam Sandler did a bad job in his task, but I think the tweaks that they did to make it a little more modern of a movie. Yeah. I just dug the old school, and it's Burt Reynolds. I mean, that's Stash. And, it's Burt Reynolds.
Yeah. All right, Derick, on to your second pick.
All right. For my second pick, I'm going to go with another lovable idiot. I'm going with Forrest Gump.
Okay.
That guy, yeah. I mean, if it's not really a football movie, but there's definitely a good chunk of the movie that's dedicated to him being a football player and how just nobody could touch him. And if he hadn't gotten drafted, who knows? He could have had a brilliant NFL career ahead of him. But yeah, Forrest Gump, he returns kicks for touchdowns like nobody's business. I think he's a running back, but yeah, I'm not sure exactly what his position was supposed to be.
I think he was
got to go with
a punt returner.
Yeah, is he specifically just a punt returner?
I think he was a punt returner.
Okay. Well, slot him into some stuff. I'm thinking you could have him just
put him in running back.
Yeah, exactly.
He runs.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, Derek, what is your third pick now?
Okay, back to me again. Then
Yeah.
I'm going with Tim Riggins.
God, big Tim Riggins.
Yep. Friday Night Lights. Taylor Kitsch. I don't know, not a lot to say.
Oh, come on now. That's my favorite TV show, man. I'm dead serious about that. I absolutely. Big Tim Riggins is like, I don't know. He's like Coke and Pepsi. He's like apple pie. Like he's just great. And it was one of those things that when the TV show came out, because I was a big fan of the movie, I was a big fan of the book too. I was like, oh, these are different characters. And his character was just so great all through 5 seasons. So I don't know.
Yeah, no, he's great. And there's a reason that, there was a whole year where you thought Taylor Kitsch was going to be kind of the next movie star. Didn't really end up that way, but it's because I think he's one of those guys who finds a character and just fits so well as that character.
Yeah. And
really encapsulates it, and then not going to necessarily do anything else. But he's Tim Riggins. Taylor Kitsch will always be Tim Riggins.
Yep. All right, Mike, who you got for your third pick?
Doesn't he go again?
No, he did 2.
Oh, he did 2.
He had Forrest Gump and then wrapped around
and
Tim Riggins.
Got it. I'm going to go with the anchor of the offensive line and with the center.
Okay.
And that's going to be Manumana from Unnecessary Roughness.
Okay.
I mean, you can't miss with a big Simone. It's that quiet but phenomenal force on your to anchor your offensive line.
Okay.
And he was very protective. I mean, he was when you watch the movie, he's very protective of his teammates. So
a football movie that I have not seen. I have not seen it.
It's kind of a classic to me because it just encapsulates. It's one of those fun movies. It's loosely football and a lot of fun. So I had to go with the big Samoan.
Can't go wrong. All right. My third pick. Oh. All right. I think I am going to package up my third and fourth pick here. I am gonna go Gary Bertier and Julius Campbell.
Oh yeah,
from Remember the Titans. And I package them up really honestly because watching that movie, they are 2 characters, and granted these are loosely real life people, but you can't have one without the other. You really can't. That to come from very different sides to come together as what they would consider true brotherhood, it just makes for an incredible story, and great characters all around.
Agreed.
Yeah.
All right, Mike, who you got? Who's your fourth pick?
There's a couple of different linebackers I was looking at, and I think the first one I'll roll out there with is going to be, where did I put him? Where'd he go? Steve Latimer from The Program.
Okay.
He's a colossal douche, a horrible human being, but on the field, he was a devastating force from the defensive end.
Yeah. Great movie. Derick, who do we have here? Number 4 and 5 for you.
All right, cool. So for my number 4 pick, I'm gonna go with a TE. I'm gonna go with the Cheeseburger Eddie from the remake of The Longest Yard, Terry Crews. How can you not? Terry Crews.
Cheeseburger Eddie. I love the character. God.
Yeah, I don't know. What else you got to say other than it's? I mean, Terry Crews. Of course, you're gonna take him.
Right.
My favorite line. That's a big ass robot. All right, and who do you have? You're wrapping it around for your number 5 pick.
And I think it's about time I take a quarterback. I'm gonna go a little, throw a little bit of a curveball here and do a little bit of a, an outside pick. But I'm gonna go with Victor Stone from Gotham High School from Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Okay,
fair enough.
Cyborg. Yeah,
I forgot about him.
Yeah, he's that scene, there's only one scene in his director's cut of Justice League that has Cyborg in it, but he's great. He's a quarterback, but he's one of those very mobile quarterbacks. slips out and runs for a touchdown. So we know that he's got an arm, and we know that he can run. So he's one of those, quarterbacks that you can use in a lot of different situations. And like I said earlier, I like those quarterbacks that you can kind of just do whatever with. So that's going to be my quarterback, Victor Stone.
I forgot all about him. Honestly, I'm a huge DC fan too. And the last podcast that I did, we talked about the true Snyder cut, and how much Cyborg from the Justice League, just abomination to the true director's cut, of how much the characters are different, to where he was just, I didn't even care about him in the first one because he was just there.
It was cast off.
Do I know?
It was just basically cast off. Him, the Flash.
Yeah,
they were effectively cast offs, and I wholeheartedly agree. The Justice League director's cut was worth the 4 hours of sitting.
Oh yes,
it allowed so much to breathe. It allowed so much to be fleshed out.
Yeah,
the storylines made sense.
Yeah,
so
it felt like a movie. It didn't feel like Justice League, which was, I don't know, like I had a couple issues with the Zack Snyder version, but I did think like, oh yeah, this feels like a coherent film with a beginning, middle, and end, and like there's a plot and everything, and you actually care about the characters and get enough time for everybody to develop and stuff like that. Right. So definitely, a much improved movie, and it was clearly a Zack Snyder's whole vision, and it is cool to see that in a movie when you don't have outside interference, and you get to see their actually original intended film.
Yeah,
for the most part.
Agreed.
All right, Mike, number 5. Who is your 5th round pick?
I'm gonna go to my punter, because you need a good punter that can put that nice coffin kick and really pin the other team in.
And
I'm gonna go with Nigel Goff. I mean, what better to go with an Irishman as your punter?
Ole
for the replacements. Even if he does have a gambling problem.
Ray Finkel is your punter.
Laces out.
Laces out. That's right. All right, my number 5. I need somebody with some weight here. I got Vontae with some speed and some muscle, Shane that leadership, Gary Julius. I'm going Philip Finch from Wildcats. I need some size on my team. I had forgotten this was a movie that I had forgotten all about, which was one of my absolute favorite movies growing up as a kid. I was a big Goldie Hawn fan, and just this character of Finch, the relationship between him and Goldie Hawn was just magic. You see, it's that blind side, two kind of opposites that just make for great chemistry. So yeah, I'm going with Finch. And my number 6. I need some magic. I need some Rod Tidwell. I need some.
Some
good old goodness.
I was gonna be very snatched him up. God.
Yeah.
Oh man.
One of my absolute favorite. I'm a huge Tom Cruise fan and all, but Jerry Maguire was what kind of did it for me. Just the speech, starting with that speech from the beginning, where it would take all 5 VR warriors to take your dad down, kind of thing. And it was just, that the kid saying "fuck you" to him, and him just smiling to the end, the injury and the getting up and the spinning, just everything about it. Him air drying in the in the locker room. It was just a great character of Cuba Gooding Jr. He is my number 6 pick. On to Mike. Whose is your 6th pick?
So I was gonna go back to one of my other defensive players, but I'm gonna jump on the offense and jump on the bandwagon with a wide receiver.
Yep. And
I'm gonna go with Philip Elliott from Dallas 40. Nick Nolte is just he's one of those actors that he's just, everything that he does, he really kind of encapsulates, especially his earlier stuff. He's just a great actor, and the character was pivotal for that for the movie. So
gotcha.
I'll take my wide receiver from with Nick Nolte.
Awesome, sounds good. Derick, number 6. Who you got?
All right. I was getting ready to show you guys the money, and so I gotta reposition real fast. But you know what? I think nobody said Julian Washington yet, right? He's still
Nope.
on the board. All right, yeah. I'll take Julian Washington any given Sunday.
No. Yeah, nobody said it yet.
Yeah, so I think I gotta snatch him up while he's still on the board. And then how many is that? Remind me. What
we're at 6, so you're going to number 7 right
that's
now. You're
I'm
snaking
going
it
to number 7.
around.
All right. And I'll do something different again. I'm gonna go with because we you did Ed O'Neill there earlier on, so I'm gonna go with somebody else from a sitcom. I'm gonna go with Cam Tucker.
Okay.
So who he played high school. I think like you said, you need to have like a bigger presence, big body on your team.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I'm going with him.
All righty. All right, Mike, number 7. Who you got?
I'm gonna go with Thad Castle from Blue Mountain State.
Okay.
Oh shit, Blue Mountain State. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
He's another douchey human being, but he was
a great character.
Oh, he was a great character.
Oh,
I mean, he's like that. There's so many like cliches that the actor did a phenomenal job playing that character.
yeah.
But yeah, on the field, he's a stud linebacker. But yeah, the show is great. The character was just fantastic. So
Yep. All righty. Let's see here. Bonte, Shane, Bertier, Campbell, Bench, Tidwell. My number 7, just a true underdog story. Came from violence, the inner city. I mean, The Rock pretty much showed him what he needed to do. I'm going with Willie Weathers from Gridiron Gang. Just a great, I think a great character of kind of pulling yourself up and knowing what you're capable of. All it takes is somebody to show you sometimes. Sometimes you got to knock the rock down to show them. So I'm going, like I said, Willie Weathers from Gridiron Gang, which brings me to my number 8. I think I need some more size here. I've got some speed with Bonte and Willie. I think I'm going to go Charles Jefferson from Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Just another, what was that, Forrest Whitaker? Yeah, just a great actor. Just a cool guy with hardly any dialogue. But he didn't need it for the size and that intimidation. And then the car scene is just awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, Charles Jefferson, Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Had to scratch him off my list now.
Yeah. All right, Mike, number 8 for you.
I'm gonna go with the running back from the program. He might not hold on to the ball all the time, but you got to go with Darnell Jefferson.
Okay.
He had speed, he had potential. If you can just learn to hold on to the damn rock, he'd probably be a spectacular NFL football player.
All right, sounds good. Derick, number 8 for you.
All right, number 8. Let's see here. Oh, man, we'll kind of get into the
the gritty.
Yeah. Oh man, let's see here. Did you say Julius Campbell? Has he been taken yet?
Julius Campbell is gone. He was my number 4 pick.
Oh man, okay. You know what then? Alvin Max, he's still on the board, right?
Who's that?
Alvin Mack from the program.
Yes, he is available.
All right, I'll take Alvin Mack. Get another linebacker to you can him and Bobby Boucher. I think that's a good combo.
Yeah.
Solid inside.
Yeah. And then you know what? I'll get I already got a quarterback. I'll get my backup quarterback. I'll get Johnny Utah.
Okay, Johnny Utah.
Point break. Nice.
That's our first double on here. Johnny Utah and Shane Falco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's the same position.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
What college did he go to?
Ohio State.
Not Falco. Utah.
Oh. Yeah, Ohio State. But he's Buckeye,
Really?
right? I think so.
So he played the same college for both.
Was he? Shane Falco was.
Shane Falco was Ohio State. Yeah.
Was he? Holy shit.
Yeah. Because it was the Sugar Bowl.
Okay.
I don't remember what.
I want to say. I mean, I might be wrong. I should double check myself, but I want to say he was a.
That would be really funny if it was the same. If it was the same thing.
Same position, same actor, same college.
Same college. I'm trying to see if I can find that.
Give me one
That's
second.
a good question.
Yeah, I mean, Keanu Reeves, he's a good actor, but he's not known for being the most versatile guy, so I guess it makes sense.
That's too funny. My cat.
Ohio State.
Really?
Apparently, it's Ohio State.
Wow, that's interesting. All right, Mike. Who is your number 9 pick here? You got Al Bundy, Paul Crew. We got Latimer. We got Goff. We got Castle. Who is going to be your number 9?
I'm gonna have to go with the solid kicker, and again, it's somebody who started in one sport and transitioned to another from unnecessary roughness. I'm going with Lucy Draper.
All right, beat me to it. Okay.
And it's Kathy Ireland in her prime. I mean, come on now.
My first crush. Oh, yeah. Damn it. Okay.
That's good. That's a good one.
I don't think my team will have a kicker unless I go with. Not even gonna say his name anymore. Places out. All right, number 9. Because I can't think of another kicker in a movie.
Yeah, there was nobody else. I can't think of any other movie that
There's
really
not many movies made about kickers. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And actually, Laces Out. He wasn't even the kicker; he was the holder.
No. Dan Marino was holding it.
Finkel was the kicker. You're right. He went nuts because Dan
Marino. Yeah,
you're right.
Oh. All right, let's see where we're at. Johnny Utah, Lucy Draper. We're on me now, right?
Yeah.
All right, number 9 for me. I got to go with another guy. I'm going to kind of bounce off of what Mike said in round 8. Somebody who's not really great with the ball, but when you give him some sticky, he's magic in the end zone. Duke can run like nobody's business as long as there's not a Twinkie involved. I'm going Clifford Franklin from The Replacements, Orlando Jones.
All right, it's good. It's good.
Just a funny dude.
Yeah.
Look like a jacked up elephant. It's just a funny ass line from that movie. And then I think I'm gonna go with a backup quarterback here for my number 10. And I'm kind of torn because I don't have anybody. I mean, Derick, you took Tim Riggins from me early on in the 3rd. And I want to go John Moxon, but I can't. I'm going to go Matt Saracen. Just the heart of Matt Saracen. I mean, he took Julie Taylor's heart too. In Friday Night Lights, he was no Jason Street, but he was different, you know. So yeah, Matt Saracen is my backup quarterback, and I think in the rightful spot too. He's an exalted backup quarterback. Mike, who do we have at number 10? We're getting down here.
Last 2. Let's see. Do I go for the size on my line? Or do I go, I don't have a tight end. And I think I only took 1 receiver so far. So I'm going to go with Charlie Tweeter from Varsity Blues.
Son of a bitch. I was right about to do that. All right.
He had sure hands. You can't beat the hands that he had. And, he's one of those positions that you gotta fill. So
I'll go with a cowboy hat, stealing police cars.
Yes, sir.
God, it's such a great character. Like just everybody from that movie is just from Billy Bob to John to Paul Walker. Just everything about that movie is just magic. Love it. Derick, these are your last
Walker,
2.
But he broke his leg in that movie. So
yeah. All right, Derick, these are your last 2. Who do you got?
All right. It's just because I was right. I was just getting ready. I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna just grab Scott Conn, but because I guess all the good quarterbacks or good wide receivers are off the board. All right. You know what? I'll take a kicker for my spot here, and I'm gonna go back to the water boy, and I'm gonna take Derek Wallace, who's the kicker in the water boy, because I don't think he missed that entire any time. I don't think he missed a single kick. So we gotta go with him for my number 10.
Was that the black dude who shared his
Yeah,
helmet?
yeah.
Okay.
One of my favorite scenes is when he just like he pictures the guy with the clan head and he just kicks it through the uprights. It's one of my favorite scenes of the whole movie.
Give me 1 second. Is something going on with your camera?
Yeah, I think it was wigging out there for a minute.
Yeah, it's like, what is this?
Was my camera was wigging out?
No.
mine.
Oh, okay.
Mike has some special effects going on. I was like, how do you do that on Zoom? Damn. All right, your final pick, Derick. Who do you have? Well, final player pick.
Yeah. All right. Damn. There's not a lot left, I guess. You know what? I don't even know what position he plays, but just because I want Chris Evans on my team, is it? I don't know. He might be. Is he a quarterback? Do you guys remember?
I think he was a quarterback. Yeah,
I can't take 3 quarterbacks. I'm just gonna take Ryan Gosling from Remember the Titans. I don't even know. I don't even know what he played, but I gotta have the Gosling on my team just cause.
Ryan Gosling. Damn, what was his name? Because he wasn't Sunshine. That was the other blonde dude.
That was
That's
a quarterback.
like that's baby Gosling.
Yeah. That was the whole time I'm watching that movie, I'm like, damn, I think it's just like the shortish long hair. But yeah, no, he was young.
Mm-hmm. He's Alan Bosley.
Alan Bosley.
I did not remember that. I just looked it up on Wikipedia.
No. All right, Mike, your final player pick.
Trying to figure out if I go for defense or offensive line, but I think I'm going. You got to have a good person in that cover, and Petey Jones from Remember the Titans. All he wanted to do was his chance to shine, and he finally got it, and he held his own, and then he became a doctor. So
Yeah. He don't know because he don't want to know, man. This Virginia. Oh, so just everything like, and I know all this is like real people or loosely based on, but I don't think.
He had heart. He wanted to play.
Yeah.
He had the competitive drive that you want in a teammate. He just wasn't, the most skilled. But when it push came to shove, he got his chance to shine, and he did really well.
But I was going to say, no, I don't think there's another movie other than The Replacements in that short, hour and a half that can dive into and make you care about these characters so much than something like, Remember the Titans.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think a lot of it is what they went through at that time. But I mean, it's for, it's not a long movie, but
We Are Marshals is pretty spectacular, but that's based, on a actual event and the college and the tragedy that they suffered, which is a phenomenal movie in itself. But for all the jokey and the nonsense, Varsity Blues had some good kind of points to it. The character development, from my perspective, I thought the character development was actually pretty solid considering, it's a bunch of young actors and things like that. And it was, geared towards teens, but they did well in developing the relationships between the players and the coach. And I thought it was well done.
Yeah. All right. My final player pick. Literally have 1, 2. Yeah, it's literally between 2 people. Both super fast. I think I'm gonna go Earl Meggett, Nelly from The Longest Yard. Honestly, it was between that and Smash Williams from the Friday Night Lights, but his character was just so good. That is who I am taking for my final pick. This is the tough one because I have 3 coaches here because I figured I only need 3. There's only 3 of us. And honestly, it's not even a competition for me. There's one coach. A coach has got to lead. There's got to be heart. If you've listened to the conversation so far, you know what my favorite TV show is. my coach going into this is Coach Eric Taylor. Just the epitome, I think, of what a coach should be. He's your coach, he's your friend, can give one hell of a speech. Clear eyes, full hearts, can't lose. Coach Eric Taylor, that's who I'm rolling with.
I was initially looking at one of two people, and I loved, just because I'm a huge Denzel fan.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he did a great job in Remember the Titans, but because that is more loosely based on a real person, I went to go completely fictitious. But I almost went with McConaughey's portrayal as the coach in We Are Marshall, but again, that's based on something real.
Yeah.
So I gotta go with Any Given Sunday and Coach D'Amato. Just that speech, that halftime speech. It's just, that's kind of that quintessential coach losing his shit and getting the team to rally together. So
there you go. Nice choice. Nice. Derick, who is your coach for all of these players?
All right, so
Cheeseburger Eddie, Forrest Gump, and Bobby Boucher, along with Cyborg. Who is coaching this team?
I'm going also with Friday Nights, but I'm going with the movie. I'm going with Gary Gaines, as played by Billy Bob Thornton.
Billy Bob Thornton. Very nice.
Got a lot of big personalities on my team, so you need somebody who can kind of rein those in, I think.
Yeah. Billy Bob was up there for me. And honestly, like I said, I'm a fan of the book. I'm a fan of the movie. I'm a fan of the TV show. Just everything that revolves around Friday Night Lights and the Panthers, or Texas forever. Just great coaches. I had Herman Boone down here. I had Jimmy McGinty down here. And I also damn it.
I was gonna go with Herman, but then he's real. He's like
exactly.
Real,
and that's
go ahead. I was gonna go with Sam Winters from the program, because Kane played that coach position well. You could see he was that torn coach who's had the history of having a good program. They skirted the lines here and there. He cared about his players. And that scene at the very end of the movie where he pulls Latimer in, and he knew that Latimer, fucked up again. And that tension, that scene spoke a lot in the heart that he had for that team. And that's kind of what you want as a coach who truly wants the kids to succeed. He wants the accolades. He wants the success, but he truly cared about the players as well. So yeah, it was just close, but I had to go with D'Amato.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, listen, guys, I really appreciate this. It was a lot of fun. Diving into, current events, what's going on with Tebow, Kaepernick, drafting these. Seriously, Derick, Boucher, Forrest Gump, Cyborg, Cheeseburger Eddie. I think it's just those four right there.
That's a hell of a team to have.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty solid.
Yeah. Thank you very much, guys. Derick, anything you want to plug? Where can we find you? Podcast, anything like that? Let us know.
Yeah. So, like I said at the beginning, I got my podcast Underrated. So you just punch in Underrated, and you can find that. We're on any app, or just follow us on Instagram at Undercast Co. That's kind of the name me and my friends call ourselves when we do podcasts. We do a couple other ones, but Underrated is the main one. Or if you just want to follow me, my Instagram is Derick's Photos. It's DERICKS _ photos. But yeah, check out my podcast if you want to hear me talk more about movies, because I had a blast talking about movies here with you guys.
Awesome. Thank you. Mike, where can we find you?
I'll just keep it simple. My podcast is called Adding Context. So just look up Adding Context wherever you find your podcast. We're on a little bit of a hiatus, trying to tweak a few things here and there. Always looking to improve and bring out better content. But yeah, I had a blast. This was fun.
Awesome, guys. Thank you so much. As always, I am Dash Michaels. Thank you for watching Shorts and Hoodies. You can find us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. We are the SNHPOD is where you can find us on all that awesome social media stuff and podcasts, YouTube, and just everything. Follow, like, subscribe. Anything y'all want to see, leave it in the comment. Derick, Mike, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. As always, I will see everybody next time. Thank you for joining us, and I will see y'all later. Peace.
Cut the check.